I joined FTII, which was in 91. It's a 3 years course I did in FTII, then came to Bombay. So from 94 Jan, I've been working in Bombay.
Did you get into do ads at any point when you were doing all this?
I've done some ads, but not a lot, because I was more focused on two feature films.
Are you a loser? Are you a freak? Do you need a lover? Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. Don't bother me.
Welcome to an episode of Real Strugglers, where we talk to real filmmakers and actors about their struggles working in the chaotic world of films. Today, our guest is Chirantan Das, who is a legendary DOP in India. He's done some fantastic films. I've worked with Chiru sir on a Telugu film called Good Luck Sakhi. And he's also done a bunch of other films. He's done... so what all have you done? Like, the list is endless.
A lot of films.
How many films?
More than 30.
More than 30?
Yeah.
And when did you start working in films?
I joined FTII, which was in 91. It's a 3 years course I did in FTII, then came to Bombay. So from 94 Jan, I've been working in Bombay till now.
And when you... how did you decide to go to FTII? Like,
It was not planned. I mean, I did some photography and all that stuff, but I never thought of it as take it up seriously as a career and join film school in cinematography. It just happened, and some of my friends, they had joined FTII. So I knew about FTII and knew the different courses they had. So when I was not sure what I wanted to do, and then I thought, why not let me go and explore this side of the... So then I applied for this thing, and then I got through, and then I joined, and then I liked it.
so before that, as in photography, you were doing it like...
I had done photography, but like a friend of mine who was totally into photography. He never joined FTII actually, but he had a dark room. So with him, I developed negatives. I did printing with him. So I knew the basics of photography and clicking a lot of photos and all that. So I knew because of him, I knew all this. But yeah, that's what helped me to also get through to FTII in cinematography.
And before that, did you do your graduation or...
I did my BSc,
Okay.
and then I was doing MSc. I did MSc 1 year, and then I decided not to continue, and
They
then
didn't like it.
I was not enjoying. So I was thinking about different jobs. I was almost going to get through some kind of a job. Then I was not sure about jobs either. So then I decided to join FTII.
And were your parents supportive of it at that time?
Yeah, they were supportive. I mean, they were very happy about joining FTII. They were not sure what kind of a profession it will be, this thing. But they said, if you're sure, then go ahead. And they supported me. So it was... Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of people who go to FTII also have a super network, because everyone from FTII ends up working in the film industry. Like in every batch, you have at least like 10 people who've really made it. Or did that...
Not really,
No?
not so much. Network in the sense, yeah, when you come out of FTII, you have your seniors, you call them up and then tell them you are just now passed out and came to Bombay, and give your number. They always call you back. They give you some work and they call you to assist them. So initially you don't have any problem when you come out of FTII to Bombay. There is never any problem because seniors will always support you. They always give you work, and you kind of are sorted for a couple of years in the beginning.
And is that what you did when you came out of
That's
FTII?
what I did, yeah. I called up seniors, I assisted. A lot of people I assisted in the beginning. And then in the beginning I was assisting only in advertising. And then after four years, I guess, I went on independent completely
Okay.
on my own.
So was your first film an independent film?
Which the film
First
that
as a cinematographer?
As a civil, no, I didn't get as immediately film. When I went to independent, I got some... they used to have those days episodic serials, like in the sense 48 minutes short films.
Okay.
They were called Star Bestsellers, Riste. Like there were a lot of things like happening. They were 48 minutes duration. So it was like a short film. So I did a lot of those things initially as an independent DOP. And then slowly I got a break into feature film, and I did a feature film, and then that's how it started.
Which was your first feature film?
First film was directed by Hansal Mehta, about 4 young boys and 3 young girls, and then college life and stuff like that. Like it was a kind of a fun film.
And how did you get this job?
I got this
Did they
job.
see your work, or did you...
No, because I knew Hansal Mehta earlier, because I was an assistant. I had worked on his projects as an assistant. Then as independent DOP also, I did Riste and some stuff as well with Hansel independently. So that way I had done work with him. When I wanted to go feature films, I went to him and told him to.
And he was already making feature films?
He already had made a couple of films.
Okay.
So he had told me, okay, next film, whatever I do, I'll call you. And when in the next film time came, he called me. Okay, as I told you, come, let's have a meeting. That's how I got the first film.
So through networking only, through working, you build your networking.
Yes, through work only you build a network.
As a cinematographer, what do you study in FTII, like in these 3 years?
The first year you study, which is a common course.
Okay.
It's like same for everyone, like direction, camera, sound and editing. Everyone study filmmaking. Same class, everything same exams, everything. So after the first year is over, you get into channelized into your own stream, like direction to direction, editing, cinematography. And then you are taught theory of cinematography, chemical process, mechanical process of the camera and the laboratory, film processing, everything you are taught theory and also practical.
Okay.
So FTA has its own lab. Now though there is no cellular now. When in our time it used to be cellular film. So there used to be lab, our own lab, own theater called main theater. So we used to process our own negative and make a print there and see it in the theater. That's how it used to be.
Were you taught how to grade as well when you were doing this?
Yes.
So that would come under the cinematography.
Yes,
spectrum.
everything. Yeah.
So what was color grading like on analog on film?
Color grading, nahi tha. We didn't have color. We had only black and white film. And we graded also black and white.
Okay.
So color thing got exposed to when we came to Bombay. In those days, FTI didn't have color.
So in black and white, it's only contrast management, right?
Contrast and shadows, yeah. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you work on each other's projects as well? How would you collaborate over
Yes. Because once you become like after second year, you have starting having projects. So there'll be one team, one director, one DOP, one sound guys, one editing. So the 4 people will be a team. So they will make their own film. Every project they'll make. So when I am shooting that part of that group, I'm shooting some project. So my batchmate only will assist me.
Okay.
Someone will do the lighting, someone will do the focus pulling, like that. So I'll be also in somebody else's, I'll be assisting, or I'll be the focus pulling. Like that used to be this thing.
And how many would you have shot as a DOP yourself in the course?
There would be 3-4 projects. There was one picturation of song picturation, there used to be one dialogue exercise, there was one mise en scene, there used to be one dynamization, there used to shoot, and then the main used to be diploma film at the end of third year.
And every, so I'm guessing the direction students have to do one diploma film, but a DOP could do multiple, right? If multiple directors want you to do their film?
No, there won't be a scene like that. If there are like students, like there are 8 directors, 8 students, there are 8 cinematography students also.
Okay.
So it will be like kind of a group. Same.
It's the same number.
Sometimes some batches may come hote the. So there one has to shoot 2 films like that.
Okay.
Or maybe some direction students are come hai. So some staff from the FTI staff, some lecturer will be directing a film.
And what were the lecturers like? Were they working filmmakers or?
They were mostly from FTI only.
Okay.
Ex-students. They used to be part of the teaching faculty mostly.
Okay, but not from they hadn't worked in.
They had, some of them had worked prior experience. They had
Okay.
they had on-field experience also, and then they had joined in the teaching thing.
After your first film with Hansal Mehta, then I'm sure the second film also was easier to get, right?
It became slowly easier, like to get the film. The difficult was the first film.
Did you get into do ads at any point when you were doing all this?
Actually, not many. I've done some ads, but not a lot, because I was more focused on to feature films. That's what I kept getting, and I was not getting a lot of ads. But they were shot a lot of ads.
And as a cinematographer, when did you kind of start discovering your style of cinematography? And how would you define your style of cinematography?
Actually, there is no style of cinematography. The style is only decided by the script. So for me, the script is the starting point for any film. Visualizing the script is the starting of your style of the cinematography. So each film will kind of look different. If there are different stories, they will going to look different, and they should look different.
And in terms of the films you worked on, which are you most proud of in terms of the look that you managed to create with it?
3-4 films I would talk about. I shot a film called 1971. It's about these 5 Indian POWs who are in Pakistan, how they tried to escape when they tried to come to India. It's about that.
And what did you do unique in this that was set it apart from your other films that you liked so much about it?
It's not unique. There's like the way I thought it should come out, the look wise. I was happy the way it came out. A lot of times it doesn't come out. The film you have thought of some, it'll come out the way you have visualized, but finally you see the film, it doesn't work sometimes like that. So 71 was one film like that. Dhanak I liked. Dhanak and Mode also.
Yeah, more. I think more. I love the cinematography in Mode.
Mode.
Yeah.
The way we thought the small town and everything should come out. I was happy with the way it came out. I liked Tanu Weds Manu Returns. I liked the way it has, the way it turned out to be. I liked it. Another film I like the look is Sanam Teri Kasam. So that also it turned out the way I visualized it. So the 3, 4, 5 films are which I'm happy the way they turned out.
And in terms of how a cinematographer collaborates with the director on coming up with the visual language of a film, how do these discussions happen?
It starts with the script only. Once you read the script, then I try to gauge what the director is where is they're coming from, in terms of visual. So that happens by doing a lot of discussion, like asking him which film that he can think of comes close to this film, or some photographs or paintings or anything that comes close to this kind of this film's palette. And then talking and deciding and a lot of things, and then going on recce. And then location decide a lot of things. You have thought of the film in a certain way after reading the script. But after doing the whole recce and locations, the whole thing changes.
Yeah.
Suddenly the house, everything, the scenes, the terrain, everything decides the actual final look. Yeah. So yeah, it's a total, you keep on talking all the time.
It evolves through the process of the film.
Yeah, it evolves all the time.
I remember when we were working, I think you only said this. Yeah, we had an issue with a production designer, and you said if I don't have a good production designer, I don't know where the hell to put the camera.
Yes.
Which is also the collaboration that's involved in every department.
Very important person on a set is a production designer. If the set is given, it's a really bad, ugly, it doesn't work for that film. You can do any amount of lighting, you can do whatever you want to do, is not coming to good, not look good. So that is always this thing, the production designer has to be really good, and it has to come out correct according to the script. Then only you can think of making it better or doing enhancing it. If the starting point is not good only, then it doesn't lead anywhere. So yeah, that's like a.
And in terms of discussion as well, do you have discussions with production designers as well about
Yes. Like with the director, I discuss a lot about this thing. Then with the production designer, we sit down and discuss a lot about the colors, like everything about the properties, color, lamps, the texture, the wall, and the outside, whatever you seen, everything we have discussed with the completely collaborative work with the production designer. Whenever you see any good cinematography, I can guarantee you there's a good production designer, always.
In terms of how do you pick a camera, what you're going to shoot with for the film? If say you didn't have a budget in mind, like budget is obviously a big part to play in these things.
Yeah.
How different cameras define different looks for a film? Like back in the day, I think it was your film stock that you would choose, right?
Correct. Film stock used to be but then there's not different kind of films. Mostly there's one kind of film, so like either Kodak or Fuji tha us time pe.
But Kodak may be alag rehte the, na?
No, Kodak mein there will be different, like 50 ASA, 100 ASA, 200 ASA,
it's only
500
ISO
ASA.
dependent.
It's only ISO different. It's not different. This thing nahi tha.
Because photography mein you have like Kodak Portra, then you have
वैसा नहीं है ना? No, ऐसा नहीं होता है.
Okay.
Not a film. And now that we have digital thing, I lean towards ARRI because I'm comfortable with the camera. I like that camera. But having said that, nowadays the way the cameras are all like ARRI ho, yeah, Red ho, yeah, Sony Venice ho, any film been shot and correctly graded, nobody can make out nobody can see the film and see this is shot in this camera. Nobody can do that. They completely match each other now in the look mein. And after grading, there is no way you can tell this is not shot on this camera or shot in this camera. You cannot.
But why do people then still prefer using an RE?
Is the comfort level and surety about certain, like that you are going this under, these many stops under, that what are you going to get finally out of this. So that confidence is there. Like some people have, but then same way, I know a lot of DOPs I know personally who are very comfortable with red. They would not shoot with anything except red.
Okay.
and it doesn't matter what the budget is.
I don't think sound designers are happy about that. Red has a loud fan, no?
Red, but you can switch the fan.
You can? Okay.
Yeah, red you can switch the
Overheat
fan.
नहीं होता है?
No, you can set just while taking
Okay.
rolling with the take.
फिर like it goes silent at that time.
You can make it silent. A lot of people leave it on full mode, man. That's a different thing.
हाँ.
So then that will cause problem to the sound editor. But nowadays cameras are completely matching with each other.
Okay.
At par with each other. That difference is not there anymore.
And in terms of lenses, because you have like you have different ranges of lenses. You have anamorphic, you have spherical.
Yeah, anamorphic. After the film is gone, after the digital thing, anamorphic lenses are very rarely used.
Okay.
Matlab, out of 100 films, maybe 2 films will be using anamorphic lenses. But everyone is using spherical because of the opening is better. You can manage with less lights,
Okay.
so you can shoot faster.
Okay.
So and I like the quality of the spherical lenses because of the sharpness, less elements in the inside. So anamorphic has more elements. So unless that you need to shoot a film on anamorphic, which should be a specific requirement.
What dictates that though?
Anamorphic, yeah, see, it takes the whole sensor into place. It takes care of the whole sensor. It exposes the entire sensor.
Okay.
In spherical, these things we have to cut down this thing for the anamorphic framing करते हैं. वो ऊपर नीचे we leave
So you're like you're
those
cropping it.
pixels. We are not using them.
Okay.
In anamorphic, you're using every pixel. You're using everything. So
Okay.
that way, it's a good quality image that way.
Would it be close to like a 70 mm film?
No.
No?
You can make out in difference actually.
Okay.
It is more it's like more theoretical, not so much practical actually. But if there you have a film which is like big terrain and like shooting in
Like westerns.
westerns, a lot of people will tend towards using anamorphic lenses.
Okay.
And especially nowadays with anamorphic lenses, I think they are getting more now because some time back for these digital cameras, anamorphic lenses were not that many also. Their number of lenses are little less, 4-5 lenses, where normally you get 8 lenses. So that are a little limited tha wo. I think that is they have taken care of. You're getting the full range now. But then that kind of film, western like something film should be, or people mostly would shoot on anamorphic. Otherwise, a normal film like say small town story or village or normal personal this thing, 35 mm spherical lenses, I find it more preferable to
It's more practical.
practical and quality, and then the sharpness and the shooting speed, everything is faster. So yeah.
When they did use anamorphic lenses, when you say like it uses the whole sensor, can you just explain that a little more? Because what do you mean they use the full sensor? Because this sensor.
Sensor because it compresses 1:2 May.
Okay.
So basically, and decompress when you take it out in the image. Finally, when you see it, it decompresses.
Okay.
So it actually takes into the whole sensor.
Okay.
But when you do that try to do the same thing in the spherical lenses, you just crop it.
Okay.
You just put crop, which is this thing, which is finally anamorphic. Normally, you'll get back when you de-squeeze. That you're squeezing in spherical.
Okay.
So we put markers for 2.35 ratio.
Okay.
And then don't use the upper and niche ka pixels. We don't use. We just use that much only.
Okay.
So that's the basic difference.
Since you mentioned aspect ratio, like I recently saw Joyland, which I was mentioning to you. This film is shot in a 4:3 aspect ratio, which is very
more look like TV kind of a very squarey, boxy kind of a look.
correct. Then you have 16:9, which is the most common format used for OTT. Then you have like 2:1. You have 1.81.
1.85. One is 1.85.
Yeah. So I mean, all these different things are dictated obviously by the platform where you're releasing your thing. But how does story dictate an aspect ratio?
See, we normally in the films are shot on 1:2.35. I don't know why it started where it is, because preferably I would like to see a film in 1:1.85. That's the best format for me personally. I find that format the best. But when you try to do that in the Hindi films, people don't like it because you have left, right, some areas you will have black band. So that's the people who don't like it or whatever. Everything is shot on 2.35. So it's a very distribution call, I guess, in the beginning days to shoot on 2.35 ratio. And it came from Hollywood also a little bit. But personally, if you ask me, I like 1.85 any day than any other ratio.
Okay.
And 4:3, I don't like 4:3 because it's little too squarish and don't
It's
find.
restrictive.
I don't like the visual. I don't like the when it's little boxy like that. I like slightly elongated.
And even your close-ups in a 4.3 shot, you'll have the character's always going to be center frame. You can't do like a left and right.
हाँ थोड़ा and for 1:1.85, you have the best format for close-ups also.
Okay.
You can exactly compose the close-ups nicely, better than any other format.
And do you have like a go-to lens? Like in terms of like when you're shooting a wide shot, you always want to use this lens, or if you're always shooting a close-up, like I'm talking about like focal length, like 50 mm, 35.
Correct. Like normally, if like I'm shooting a close-up, I would like to shoot it on 85.
Okay.
Normally in the close-up. Unless there is a reason, then to show a little bit of area, then we'll go 50. I like same way. If I want to go wide, I'll go with a 18 or 16 like lens for a nice wide shot. But that's a normal setup, like normal thing to do.
But when you're comparing like low budget films to like a film that has a lot of budget, like in a bigger budget film, you get more, you'll obviously you can show a bigger frame because I guess you have more production design, you have more space to shoot.
Not really. If you have a smaller film and you're shooting in the real locations, there is no difference between a big budget film and a small budget film that way. If you're shooting in, suppose a film shooting in Ladakh, it doesn't matter your budget because the frames will be stunning and the nice big frames you can have without having anything to do with the budget.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's only when if those big sets come, that time you have, if you have a bigger budget, you have a big sets and you can have a nice big wides on a set. Whereas the budget nahi hai, then you cannot have those kind of, then you can use those big lenses. So yeah, if it's on the set, then it makes a difference budget wise.
No, but say for example, you're shooting like in a slum where you have where you can't control the crowd. Over there, it's difficult to put a 16 mm lens over
Yeah,
there,
it's difficult to put it. Those are the practical limitations. You cannot control crowd and I think you go more tele and not show anything around us. That is a very practical.
And did you ever have to do that in like filmmaking?
Lots, so many times, so many times.
And what excites you most about being a cinematographer?
Get to shoot different stories, all in different locations, in different part of the country, or different part of the different outside the country, also different part of the world. Actually, that is the most exciting for me.
And what's been your most fun shoot? Not in terms of like your output, just like an overall, like it was a great experience working on that project. It has to be Nagesa film was just
No, Nagesa, obviously, like, we've been like so many outdoors. Rajasthan, like with Nagesa, has been fantastic. Time we had like really fun shoot. And Rajasthan has been always shot with Nagesh, and he's also favorite location to go to location Nagesh.
He hasn't gone there since Dhanak though. His last film there was Dhanak, na? Uske baad he hasn't done
Yeah,
a film in
that's
Rajasthan.
true. Correct. No, that we did Good Luck.
Good Luck was in Telangana.
That is not a Hindi film. It's not a Hindi film. Correct. Hindi film mein Dhanak was.
Yeah. And shooting in these conditions also can be harsh, no?
Yeah. Sometimes like you talk about Dhanak, suppose. It was shot in like extremely heat, like 48, 49 kind of thing. And we were not in the city, we were in the desert, like inside. You can't touch anything that will, like, everything is like, you can't touch it, you'll get the blister, that kind of hot. And we were shooting with those two small kids. So yeah, it was quite challenging. Dhanak was challenging that way.
And how did you manage the camera heat?
We used to have always this, put a wet towel, always on the towel, on the camera. And from that towel gets dried completely, put another towel. Constantly putting towel on the
Even when
wet
it's
towel.
rolling?
Even when it's rolling also.
Or between takes?
No. Constantly.
Wow.
Wet towel is there on the camera all the time to manage the heat also.
And the physicality of it is also very difficult for you as a crew also individually.
It does affect the output.
And
to some
how do
extent.
you manage to like go through? Like how do you push yourself through these things?
Just you have to, you have to do it. So there's nothing.
Like you have no option. So
There's no option. You have to do it. As every day you have to go there, reach there on the set and start shooting. So you don't even think about how I'm going to survive the heat. You just don't think about it. Take it out of the mind. So then it goes on and into a lot of water. So
Did anyone faint on set?
I think, one or two.
Not in your department, I'm sure.
Not in my department. Somewhere I had heard that paints it. एक दो लोग faint हुए थे. Yeah.
And what about cold versus heat? In terms of like, if it's like super cold.
That is also equally difficult. Both are equally difficult actually that way. Extreme heat is difficult. I have shot in extreme cold also. This film I'm talking about 1971. We were shot in extreme cold. We were shooting on ice.
Okay.
Although it was like snowing and there are some 30-40 feet of snow uske upar we're shooting, and we're shooting whole nights. So it was another extreme condition.
And how does different directors and different actors have different styles of working? Like you have actors, you have directors who like doing a lot of improv with the actors on set, where the blocking is never really fixed.
Yeah.
And
Correct.
how do you plan around situations like that where you have to be a DOP, where the
So when you-
blocking could change from shot to shot?
You get to understand that in a couple of days. In the first 2-3 days, you understand if you have not worked with the director pehle, first time, if you worked with the same director earlier, then you know exactly the style. So there's no problem. When you work with the first time, and then you, in 2-3 days, you realize, okay, 3 days the style is that all that we have decided, everything shots all okay. But on the set back, finally, those things are not working. Suddenly, camera can't be lagta hai or kahin. Then in 2-3 days, you realize that, and then you get prepared for that. And then you discuss with the director, okay, it's okay, we do not have to go by the plan, exactly how you plan, but even then also we have to leave some areas, something to plan that, so you can do lighting. Otherwise, it will take too much time to keep on changing lighting.
Yeah.
So then all those things you understand in the first 2-3 days, you understand. Then you work accordingly, work around it.
And what's the difference between working with like experienced actors and new actors as a cinematographer?
There's no difference.
There's no difference.
I never find any difference.
Like you don't think newer actors find it difficult to
That is only beginning में 2-3 दिन में
हो
they
जाता है.
understand. Yeah, if you take them, this is the mark, or take this slide little bit, or take you little facing like this. That is 2-3 दिन में they understand that. So if they're good actors, the good artists, they always get it immediately. They this thing. So it doesn't need to be an experienced actor for that.
And I'm sure, like, I mean, you've done, like you said, nearly 30 films or so. In these films, I'm sure you've also had on web series. I'm sure you had like days where you weren't happy with what you've kind of done.
There have been so many days.
But what is what are the common reasons that these things happen?
Common reason is sunlight. You have no control over sun and cloud and stuff. You're shooting a scene and then suddenly there's a cloud, and then again sunlight. Then suddenly it starts raining, and then again comes back to sunlight. So that like nobody's in control. You have to manage somehow. Those days are the difficult days, and then mostly DOPs are not happy about the outcome of those things, because whatever you do, there will be some kind of a continuity problem. So mostly DOPs are not happy about those kind of scenes. But then end of the day, you cannot help. You cannot say he will not shoot, will cancel shoot and will come back. That mostly doesn't happen.
Okay.
So you have to shoot and then you have to get on with it.
But does it make it easier in digital filmmaking to match the shots than it was in film?
No,
No, it's the same.
it's the same.
Okay.
No, there's no difference that way.
When did the switch from analog to digital happen in your career?
2012.
2012. Okay.
2012 में 12 तक फिल्म पे लोग शूट कर रहे थे हम लोग. 12 में slowly they shifted to digital. And by the time we were in the beginning of 13, nobody was shooting on film.
So your last film on analog format was in 2012.
That's right. Yeah.
And which film was this?
I shot a film with director Sanjay Garvi. That was the last film I shot on. After that, it was everything digital.
Do you ever like when you're meeting a director for the first time for a new film, do you ever try pushing in like, let's shoot this on film?
Not anymore. Not anymore. Not
No.
after 2013. I do not try. No, because even someone agrees, it's difficult to shoot on film now in Bombay because the labs are not working now. So the problem is that getting the stock, correct stock, and keeping them correctly, and then shooting them and getting them processed. That is like a little difficult now. So I'd rather not get into that where it's not, but I have no control about the processing quality. Then I would rather shoot on digital. So, but then like US, they still have labs and everything is running and
Yeah,
working.
a lot of films still shoot on
Yeah,
film.
there's some.
Yeah, over there.
I mean, compared to earlier, nothing.
No, yeah.
But there's still a lot more than compared
Correct.
to India. Yeah.
And in terms of format, which did you prefer?
Film any day. There's no discussion.
But what's the reason?
I just loved I love to work to shoot on film. I love the look of the images quality. I used to always love. I mean, I'm not saying that the digital now is reached a level where it is fantastic quality you're getting, all that. But there's something about film that
There's like a
still,
different charm to it.
There's a charm to it, yeah, which I still miss about film.
when you hire your own team to work with, I know you work with more or less the same team
Yeah, mostly
throughout.
for many years. Yeah.
And how does someone break into your team? If someone wants to work with you, what do they have to do? How do they get to you?
I don't know, because people like
People, I mean, I'm sure a lot of aspiring DOPs approach you saying that, sir, I want.
yeah, they do, but my team is like full, so I cannot take new people. So I don't know. I've not taken anyone new actually, and the same people have been there from quite a few years now.
And I know this is another preference of yours, that you prefer shooting with just one camera, and now it's all about multicam.
No, I shoot with.
I know you shoot with multiple, but if you.
I shot with like the web series that I shot, Bada Blood. That I had used 3 cameras.
Okay.
So I mean, web series, man, there is a certain format, like
Yeah.
it's a given. You have to use 2 cameras at least. So there's nothing you can do about it. You don't like it or not, but you use 2 cameras all the time. But given a choice, yeah, any day one would prefer there's no discussion about that. Any DOP would prefer to shoot a 1 camera.
Because you're compromising on another shot for that one shot? Is that the
Little
reason?
bit, yeah, a little bit, yes.
Okay.
I mean, very little bit sometimes, but still a little bit, yeah.
And you prefer operating your own camera?
Always, I operate my own camera always.
And
I love the experience. I love to operate camera.
And some DOPs don't operate their own cameras. They have camera operators. Did you ever think of like sitting and watching the monitor and doing that instead?
I don't. I'll never do that.
No.
Not if I can help it. I'll not sit in the monitor and watch. I'll operate myself. But there are some DOPs who do that also. That's very few in India. It's a culture which is there in Hollywood.
Okay.
That's why they have operator cameramen. They have DOPs. DOP means necessarily, like in Hollywood, means that he doesn't operate camera himself.
Okay.
That's why the director of photography is, and they always have operator cameraman
Okay.
for the operation.
Okay.
It's completely different independent job. India में ऐसा नहीं है नहीं Bombay in India.
Okay.
99% people operate. DOPs operate their own cameras, and there are very few who would sit and monitor and have an operator cameraman to operate.
Have you ever shot a film with only practical lighting?
In one film which is only, there are no lights at all.
Huh.
There are no lights. There are no light boys. There are no generator. There are no light boys mainly. There are no light team.
Just you and your
My
camera team.
I shot it with Nagesh Kukunur. This film called Lakshmi.
Oh, Lakshmi.
was shot without lights, except for 2 days. Except for one, I think one day that court scene. There was some court scene that they had to use lights for the court scene. That
was
day.
a set?
There is a real location in Hyderabad.
Okay.
A big hall somewhere. So they made it look like a court.
Okay.
Otherwise, except that one day, everything is shot with practical bulbs.
Okay.
And have been done by only my team. Has done the whole thing.
And what was the experience shooting a film with complete practical lighting?
It was quite a challenge. And I loved that challenge also. I was loving every day. It was difficult. Very time taking and all that stuff. But I was enjoying the challenge.
Yeah.
So we decided that we'll go this way, this route only. So it was
also Nagesh's, I think, smallest budget film after Hyderabad Blues, probably.
absolutely 100%. This is the smallest budget film. It will be, compared to that, it will be the smallest budget film.
And was there a lot of production design done there, or was it just like real locations and?
They're all real locations, but production design was done like it was just empty basement kind of thing. Everything has been done to it.
Okay.
Like furniture, all those things, and
those elements were created, but the locations were.
all locations were real, all real.
Okay.
The main motive was given already.
And when did you realize that you're passionate about films? Because you went into FTII without.
Yeah, without any passion. Yeah, that's true. And partly it happened in my second year.
Okay.
And lighting exams and lighting practicals and all the thing. I started getting more interested in the lighting practicals and mostly happened after that in Bombay. I got more.
Once you started working, you started loving what you do.
Much more interested and much more into it, and really wanted to make it. That's
in terms of other types of struggle, because I know like you have a family and all, like, and with this kind of a job, like you don't really get time. When you have work, you have too much work.
Like,
does that ever get difficult? Like,
no, that never has any problem that way. It has been kind of been balancing it out correctly. When I'm shooting, I'm not shooting also. I'm spending time at home and with my kids and all that. So it has never been that kind of a problem.
Do your kids want to get into films as well?
Not yet, but you never know.
Okay.
Not yet.
Does your wife work in films as well?
Yes, she's in.
Okay, what does she
She
do?
directs.
Okay.
So she's also from FTI,
Mm-hmm.
and she did 3 short films. She did a short film called Chutney,
Okay.
and she got.
Did you shoot it?
No, I didn't shoot it. Somebody else shot it.
Nepotism didn't work.
So yeah, she's planning to make a feature film now.
Mhm.
So that's what.
And you met in FTI, eh?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And so does she do ads and stuff like that also, or
Not many, no. Mostly she's
Fiction.
done 3 feature short films,
okay?
3 or 4 short films, and now she's planning to make feature film.
I guess that also makes it easier. Like when your partners also in the film industry, they kind of understand.
Understand, absolutely understand the
Yeah.
work pressure, the work culture, and the time given to the shootings or not shooting, but going for meetings,
Mhm.
going for all the recce and everything. She understands completely. So
Mhm.
being from the film industry.
What's been the most difficult day of shoot? Like probably like where you've had to do like a double shift, triple shift. Have you ever had days like that?
Yeah, sometimes it happens. Like you're shooting starting from 7 in the morning and shooting the whole day, then you go to the night and then shoot the whole night,
Huh.
and then till next morning you are shooting like. So yeah, sometimes I've shot 30 hours at a stretch.
And how does that affect your output?
It does. The last 10 hours, like suppose I've shot 30 hours, last 10 to 12 hours will be you're just like you're doing like mechanically. Can't think straight, all the thing. And your creativity obviously will take a slightly backseat. And you're trying to finish the job because you have to finish it in a couple of more hours. For whatever reason, for no date of artist or no location, something like that. Mostly it is the reason why this kind of schedule happens sometimes. But yeah, it does affect the output. Yes.
Are you conscious of the compromises you're making at the time, or because you're in that tired state of mind, you think it's working and later you realize it was a compromise, or how does it play in your mind?
Sometimes when I'm shooting, I know I've like certain compromise I've made like this thing. I know that while shooting only that it has been, it's a compromise right now. But if I don't do it, it will be a bigger compromise.
Okay.
In another way. So go with the smaller compromise.
Is patchwork an option, or do you not like doing patchwork? Do you prefer finishing it off?
Any day I
In the
prefer to
rhythm.
finish it off. But then sometimes there's a practical problem. It sometimes doesn't work out. Sometimes something changes and you need to come back. Some continuity problem, a major continuity problem sometimes happens in the costume or something like that and makeup. So you have to come back after a couple of days and shoot something patchwork and match it to this thing. So yeah, it's not a very good experience, but sometimes it happens.
When you're watching a film or with someone else's shot, and you don't know there's a patchwork scene, but can you tell when someone's shot in patchwork?
No, if it's done correctly, you cannot.
You can't.
Nobody can tell if it's not done correctly.
Okay.
And if you can make out, that means it's not done correctly.
And you worked on, commercial films, you worked on independent films.
Yes.
And what's the difference in terms of like the working styles on both these types of films?
Commercial big films में there is certain amount of luxury you have enjoy because of timing wise, and it's not you don't have to like really rush into this thing. And when you're doing a small independent film, there is a limitation of the budget and time. So you have to finish in a certain days. So there is a lot more scenes you have planned to shoot in a certain, practically, which is a little tiring and difficult to pull off. So that's the main difference between a independent film and a.
What's one independent film that you worked on that you're very proud of in terms of, because the limitations that come with independent films are, your budget, you have time, you have lack of actor dates, you have lack of equipment.
One independent film, I don't know if I can call Lakshmi independent film because it was
But it is
almost
the budget of an independent film.
budget effect because it was no budget film completely. So that was a challenge, and I remember I enjoyed that process. So yeah, it was a good independent film.
And your commercial film that you really had a good experience shooting?
Commercial films, so many films I have had I can say
Tanu Weds
Manu.
Manu.
Yes, I had good fun like shooting or a film like Surma with Shad Ali. Like superb commercial correctly and good fun while shooting also.
What was the direction style used on like a Tanu Weds Manu? Like, because I know the film is built a lot around humor. So
Yep.
was it all very scripted completely, or was there a lot of stuff done on the spot?
It was scripted completely.
Okay.
Everything was scripted.
Okay.
Yeah. It was not. But sometimes on the spot also the changes used to happen. But everything was done beforehand and it was all planned. So nothing came out suddenly last moment and nothing like that.
And have you ever like had this situation where you're working with like a director and for example, you've come up with an idea that has kind of like completely reoriented the way the scene is shot?
No, I wouldn't say. I don't think so. No.
Okay. And I mean, in terms of different actors you worked with, you worked with 30 films, I'm sure you worked with hundreds of actors by now. Which actor is a cinematographer's dream to work with? Out of the actors you worked with?
I loved working with Kangana. There's so many other actors also like that. I think most of the actors have like been good, fun to work with, and I've had no problem with any actor as well. So I can't really say that one actor. I cannot say only this actor I had like really fun with. There is no actor like that.
When you're doing new projects, how do you decide what project you want to do?
Like suppose like mostly इतना problem होता रही because I get a film and that time only problem is if there are two other films also at the same time happening, then I have to choose one of the scripts and one of the film to go with. So that is the only time we have to decide whether to. So usually the script,
Script dictates.
yeah, sometimes some scripts very exciting होते हैं, and the director also, and some it's basically the project.
Okay.
If the director whether it's the established director, the script is a more commercial or the script is more independent. So all that thing is play into this thing role.
Okay. And how important is educational training in cinematography?
Practical experience is more important than educational. I mean, educational is important only to a basic level, like
Okay.
a starting level. But once after that, when you're on job on the field, it is the practical experience that helps more than the education actually.
Okay. But in practicals, when you're starting off, at least you're limited to like shooting on DSLRs, on phones. So for making that jump from a 5D or an iPhone to shooting on
a film camera.
Yeah, is a transition that is difficult.
That if you're not from film school, you learn on the job, looking at the camera and learning the stuff from the camera, and then you do a little bit of reading. You have to do a little bit of reading about those cameras and stuff like that. So if you're really interested into this thing and you're not from film school, you still can manage like this.
Okay.
You have like knowledge in the practical field. You work in some hands-on experience, and then you do a bit of studying, like reading material, books and stuff.
And people who are like much younger, like people who are thinking of maybe going to a film school at a later point, do you think photography is a good place to start?
Photography is good place to start, and I would suggest to join a film school because it always helps.
Okay.
If you have a choice, if you can join a film school for 2 years or 3 years course, it is always, I would advise to do that first.
Was it difficult to get into FTII?
It was, yeah. It is difficult to. I mean, I got through the first time, but I know that people have tried for sometimes many years to. Every year they try and they haven't got through, and then after 6 years, some people.
Are you in touch with any of your batchmates?
Yeah, mostly.
And so, do you have any advice to aspiring cinematographers?
Only thing is you have to be at it and not give up at all. Just be at it and not give up. That's the only thing I can say, which will keep you going for many years. Long process and long career you have in front of you. There will be times that will be very difficult. It will be frustrating. It will be depressing. It will be all that will be there.
Was it ever depressing for you?
Yeah. It's been like that's been the part of this thing.
But what was depressing about it?
Depressing is being sometimes you don't like the work. Sometimes it's frustrating because you don't getting what you wanting. So yeah, you just sometimes you think wo kya raha hai, like all those things will happen. But you just have to be at it and be relentlessly keep on working at it. That's the only thing I say.
When you were assisting other cinematographers, what kind of things did you learn from those cinematographers? Because like you said, practical knowledge is...
You learn a lot of things about lighting. You learn about lighting, about how the editing going on a big set and these things, that you learn all those things on set. And those things, a lot of things you didn't learn in FTI some. So those things, but what is mainly you learn is how to also handle people.
That's a big part of being a
It's a
cinematographer.
very big part of being a DOP on a set and this thing. Handling different departments and putting them all in together and coordinating with everyone and handling a lot of other departments and their people also. So that is one big thing.
Yeah, I think even direction is only that. So a director of
You need a
photography
lot of,
means
you
that
need a
only,
lot of
right?
patience and
Yeah.
a lot of people management. Like,
Yeah.
not as much as a director has to do,
No, but
much
you still
less
have to manage two departments.
to do it, but the director has to manage all of them.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. DOP is much less people management.
Yeah, no, but people management is essential. If you can't
Yes,
people
exactly.
manage, you're not going to be able to run your
Very
department.
difficult to pull up.
Yeah. And yeah, so like, share, subscribe, and if you want to work with Chiru sir, please DM him on Instagram. He won't reply to you. But yeah, so see you again next week on another episode of Real Strugglers.